If you're over 60 and living the RV dream, there's a silent threat that could end your adventure sooner than you think. Did you know that adults lose 3 to 8% of muscle mass per decade after 30? And that accelerates up to 15-20% after the age of 60. Today, I'll show you exactly how this thing called sarcopenia can affect your RV life and give you practical strategies to stay strong and independent on the road. Well, first we have to find out, what is sarcopenia? Sarcopenia is age-related loss of muscle mass, strength, and function. It's not just normal aging, it's a medical condition, and it's different from general weakness or fatigue. The three main components are muscle mass loss, actual shrinking of the muscle tissue, strength decline, reduced ability to generate force, and functional impairment, difficulty performing some daily tasks. So why is sarcopenia something that we RVers need to look out for? We have a lot of risk factors in the lifestyle of RV. First of all, we have a lot of sedentary behavior. In other words, we drive sometimes 6-8 hours a day, and when we get where we're going, what do? We set up our RV and then we sit and watch TV. So there's a lot of time when we're not moving very much. And if you like to travel, you're sitting a lot, and that's just one of the risk factors. Another one is space constraints. How many of you have any kind of room in your RV for any kind of exercise equipment? And a lot of times when you get to an RV site or a campground, there's just not enough room outside to do any kind of exercise. And then it's also, you get into bad weather sometimes and you just can't get out of your RV, so there's a lot of problems there. Another area is nutritional challenges. The RV lifestyle sometimes isn't the most nutritious you can come up with, because we have smaller kitchens, we have smaller spaces for holding foods, we have limited refrigeration space for proteins and things, and the RV lifestyle is prone to kind of eating out, so we don't necessarily get the best foods possible. Another thing is sometimes when you're out there boondocking, you're by yourself, and when you're isolated like that, you tend not to stay very active. You get out your chair and read a book, maybe go for a walk, but you're very, very often not too active. So where does all this really come into play with RV life? The things you'll start to see is sometimes setting up and breaking down, like getting the awnings out and bringing them back gets harder. Connecting up your utilities, your water, electric, just seems like it's getting harder to do. Operating the slide out's getting harder to do. It's just getting to be a chore to climb up on the roof to look for, to do your inspection. Changing tires becomes almost impossible. Just general mechanical work on your RV gets harder and harder to do. And then there's also the safety concerns. Do you feel like you're going to fall getting in and out of your RV? You have difficulty reaction times when you're driving? Do you have problem with balance just walking around inside your RV or on uneven campground terrain? The reason I'm talking about all this stuff is, it's very personal. I went through this just in the last couple of weeks. The last 4 or 5 weeks I've been focusing on my RV stuff, so I've been sitting around a lot more, and I've been doing more on my YouTube videos. And I went to the store, and on the way back carrying some groceries, I had a little place where I needed to jump down to get to a lower level, and it was about a 2-foot jump. So I had my groceries and I took a jump, and when I landed, I didn't have any legs at all. Just collapsed, fell, scraped my knees, scraped my elbows. I was like, it's a 2-foot jump. I mean, I've done that hundreds of times and no problem. First I thought maybe it was the groceries, but then no, this shouldn't have been like that. So I went back to the gym after about not going for about 4 weeks, and I tried to do the leg press, and I had a hard time pressing even 60 pounds. So I've gone from 180 to 60, and that was over a course of 4 weeks, and that is not aging. That's something else. So I'm back at the gym, getting my legs to be stronger. So what are some of the warning signs of sarcopenia? Number one, you just don't feel right. You've been tired, and you've been tired for more than a day or two, and a good night's sleep or a good meal just doesn't seem to be taking care of it. You also seem to be taking a lot more time, and it's a lot more effort to get out of a chair. Going up in and out of your RV is getting harder. You get winded taking short walks. Your clothes are fitting looser, and it's not just weight loss, it's muscle loss. And to be honest with you, you start to look like out here in the desert, you're going to look like Slim Jims sticking out of your pants and all of that. It just doesn't look right or feel right. So those are some of the warning signs. So some of the tests you can do, you can see how many times can you get out of a chair without using your arms. You cross your arms across your chest and see how many times you can get out of a chair in 30 seconds. And here's a chart for that. The next one is grip strength. Is it getting harder and harder to open some jars? Now, there are jars out there that nobody can open, but just your standard jars. Is it getting harder and harder? Because grip strength is a sign of overall strength. And are you walking slower than you've walked before? And does gravel really start to scare you? In other words, is your balance way off? And one of the tests you can do for that is, can you stand on one foot for 30 seconds without falling over? So what do you do about sarcopenia? What if you think you have it? Some exercise solutions are resistance training. You can get some resistance bands. They're very cheap and they take up very little room. You could do some body weight exercises such as squats, push-ups, lunges, etc. You can buy a set of dumbbells, and they take up very little room, and you can do curls, overhead curls, extensions, all of that. Just make sure that you do some kind of workout at least 3 times a week for 20-30 minutes. You focus on your major muscle groups, and you just I can't say one size fits all because I don't know where you are, but do things that are safe for yourself and within your physical range. Some things you can do, make sure you're going on walks, you're going hiking, maybe if there's a pool, do some swimming, and make sure that you're getting enough protein in your meals, and that your meals are nutritious versus fast food. And make sure, if you especially like out here in the desert, make sure you stay hydrated, because dehydration can make you feel lousy. And as you're RVing, just don't go for the 6 or 7 hours straight driving. Every 2 hours or so, stop for a little movement. When you get to your rest stops, get out and walk around a little bit. And as a choice of campgrounds, maybe choose places that have some activities or something you can do when you get there. But yeah, just the overall goal is to not just sit. Become active and keep it within the range that you can do, and hopefully this video will help you get there. This video was to introduce you to something called sarcopenia. Don't let sarcopenia end your RV adventures. With the right approach, you can stay strong and independent on the road for years to come. Thank you for watching this video.